back with the market right here in ET Now. Let's address what's happening with NIIT. What are the kind of hiring trends that they've seen? And this, of course, coming on the back of a very strong third quarter that they've already had behind them. We have with us Vijay Thadani, the VC and MD at NIIT, joining in on the show right now. Vijay, hi. Good morning. Great to have you on the show. We're talking after a while, so just wanted to understand what are the signs on the street indicating? Are there any signs of any moderation in talent? And, any wave of resignations or fresh attrition that you may be witnessing?
Yeah, so I think, as you rightly pointed out, there is a war for talent, which can cut in many ways. But let's look at the war for talent and the opportunity that comes from there. People are wanting to scale up their workforces and want digitally ready with the current technologies, and I think and deep skills within that. So we are trying to fulfill that requirement and therefore are able to help our customers meet those requirements. I think our offering called Talent Pipeline as a Service, I think is working out very well for us as well as for our customers. Now, the other side of the double-edged sword, the other side is the war for talent is on even from a provider's point of view. And I think there the strength of the organization and the track record of the organization and how good have you been known as an employer. You would perhaps recollect that we were amongst the top 4. We were the number 4 employer in the country in the Great Places to Work survey many years ago. So people recognize us as good employers. And I think that asset comes in very useful in our retaining people, attracting people, being able to grow them, and the investments that we continue to make in training them and upskilling them and increasing their value. So I think that is the real issue which is happening at this time in India on the Indian front. On the global front, I think the people are realizing that they would have to transform themselves very quickly. Training is not their core activity. It has become a very, very specialist activity, and they would like to work with specialist organizations. They see in NIIT an organization which can give them consistent across the world capability and be able to fulfill their needs and be flexible enough to sit on their side of the table to figure out how they solve their business problems in this new transformation scenario. Again, a very, very large market. We have emerged as number 5 amongst the top 5 now. And I think there is headroom for us to gain market share as we go along, and we are doing so as we go along as well. So I think in both businesses, we see an opportunity which is very, very important, and we need to be focused in each business to take advantage of that particular opportunity. I think I gave you a very long answer to your very short question.
But insightful indeed. And I guess, this topic is such, and I must say that it's not just your industry, but across industries, it's pretty much the same thing. It is a talent war out there, and attrition rates are pretty high. So I guess it was justified you taking some time on it. But the other thing also I wanted to understand, Vijay, was, your entire take on edtech. As a trend, where is that headed? And you think this is going to continue to be the growth driver for you going forward as well?
Yeah, I think edtech in general gets used as a loosely coined term. Anyone who's using technology and is delivering education is edtech. But I think if you go into the nitty-gritties of that, there are pure online digital technology-based players. Then there are the MOOC companies, and then there are the traditional brick and mortar companies who have transformed themselves into digital training companies or digital learning companies. So I think the pure play edtech, and depending on the target segment that they are servicing, they have a different orientation. They are trying to actually build volume at the highest, at the fastest pace, so that they can look at market share and justify the investments. On the other hand, the ones which are transforming themselves, and we consider as one of those who have transformed ourselves, I think our focus is on delivering value, and that too at scale, and therefore we call it value at volume. That is really the focus that we have, and that you can have if you focus on deep skilling, you focus on meeting the specific needs of specific organizations, creating a hyper-personalized product, and I think using a strong digital platform to give a flexible learning atmosphere, which is learn from anywhere opportunity to our learner, and over a period of time to make sure that we have a strong mental-led model. I think is helping us gain momentum in that space.
Okay. Let's also get in a view then in terms of reorganization of the company. What's the update on this front and what's the strategy going forward, Mr. Thadani?
Okay. So first of all, along with our third quarter results, we announced that we will be applying, we'll be going through the process of demerging NIIT into two companies, NIIT Limited, which will host the skills and careers business, and the corporate learning business will be hosted in NIIT Learning Services Limited. And after the approval of the board, we are going through the process and are at this point of time in the earliest stages of finishing the stock exchanges and SEBI approvals. And then after that, it's a well-defined process, and I think it will take us the better part of this year to complete that process. Of course, subject to availability, there is NCLG involved, there are shareholder meetings, all those things are there. We've done it before, so we are familiar with the process. And I think we are right now absolutely on schedule, and that should happen. Now, what drove us to look at this is what we saw was that there is with this digital transformation, as well as the changes which are taking place in the world, each of the businesses have a very substantial opportunity. The corporate learning group is a $350-400 billion opportunity across the world. It's very fragmented. And within that, the managed training services is emerging as a very, very distinct offering. And we need to create special focus in building capability, building presence, and delivering consistent performance at scale. And for that, it requires its own set of investments. There are inorganic opportunities there. And to make sure that we are able to give it the focus that it deserves, I think we decided that CLG should sit in the NIIT Learning Services Limited, backed by capital enough, though it's a cash-generating business, but it should have sufficient capital so that it can fulfill the ambition and the place that it deserves. Obviously, there's an opportunity from us to move from top 5 into much higher and top 3. And we also set up a goal that this business will reach a $400 to $500 million revenue at very, very decent margins in the next 4 to 5 years. So I think that is a very, very clear focus, and our run rate is very good. Our track record is very good. We are constantly adding new customers. Our revenue visibility is a great indicator of that. So I think that's one part. Skills and careers business, on the other hand, which is in India, has gone through a transformation cycle, and it requires a specific focus. Again, a very, very large marketplace. Just look at the number of nearly 60 million people studying in higher education, and our focus is on higher education and young adults learning and career development. So if you look at that, there is a very substantial opportunity, and we decided that we will play in that opportunity to the early career segment predominantly, and make sure that we are able to fulfill the aspirations of the young learners who are graduating from colleges, give them with the requisite skills, and work with global systems integrators and software companies or software services companies on one hand, global capabilities and competence centers, GCCs on the other hand, Indian companies at large in technology sector, then in banking financial services, and we are adding more sectors as we go along. So I think there again, there is a huge opportunity which required a specific focus, a specific product and solution offering. Both businesses have a different character in terms of risk and return ratios, are at different times in their evolution and growth. In India, we've been there as a household trusted brand with 5 million of our graduates in very responsible position. So we're very bullish about what all that can offer as an opportunity. So I think both businesses have their future cut out for them. And we thought that demerging the two into independent companies will give them the firepower to be able to realize that potential.
Thank you for taking time out and sharing with us the business outlook for the company.